in the 7th universe. Currently in the 7th universe, more precisely on the planet of the God of Destruction, it was possible to see Goku and Whis training together on the lake that was on the planet. And on one of the several small planets around the planet of the God of Destruction of the 7th universe was Broly and Vegeta, who were fighting Beerus, who was having fun facing both Saiyans at the same time. Goku, at the same time as he tried to attack Whis, the Saiyan had to dodge several energy beams that came out of the lake below him. And not only that, he also had to dodge some attacks from sea creatures that were in the lake. This training was so that Goku could perfect his own instincts and thus be able to control the use of Ultra Instinct, something he had not been able to achieve until that moment. Whis said, "You're at a good place, Mr. Goku, but there are still many things you need to improve in order to achieve total mastery over Ultra Instinct." Whis said to Goku, who at that moment was attacking the angel with quick blows. But Whis dodged them in a very easy way, as if it were something simple to do. Goku said, "I know that, and that's why I want to continue training to fully master the power of Ultra Instinct," said Goku before attacking Whis with even more speed. And soon he ended up transforming into a Super Saiyan and attacked the angel with even greater speed. Whis said, "Yes, the only way to get even stronger is to train and improve yourself. But to be able to master the power of Ultra Instinct, you need to train, but not transformed or using any of your power-increasing techniques. So go back to the base form," said Whis, as he stopped Goku's punch using just one of his finger, which surprised Goku, but not so much since the Saiyan knew that his current master had power far beyond his knowledge. Goku said, "I had forgotten that in this training, I couldn't use any of my transformations," Goku said before moving away a little and returning to his base form. But soon after, the Saiyan ended up receiving several energy attacks that ended up hitting Goku, generating some small explosions that hurt the Saiyan. Whis said, "You still have a long way to go before you master the power of Ultra Instinct, so don't forget to never let your guard down, or you'll end up being defeated by a surprise attack like this," Whis said, laughing when he saw how Goku looked because of the attacks that destroyed the upper part of his clothes. And in some places where the Saiyan received the attack, he ended up bleeding. But none of them were really serious. Goku said, "I have to remember to never let my guard down until you tell me to rest," Goku said with some pain in his body. But he wasn't so injured to the point of thinking he was incapable of fighting or training. Whis spoke, "Indeed, it would be very wise if you thought that way. Now rest a little, then we will return to our training, which will change a little," said the angel before going down to the ground, and with a swing of his staff, a table appeared, and on it there were several different dishes, all of which had been prepared by Bulma and her cooks, and given to Whis so that he and Goku could eat after training. Goku said, "What will this new Whis training be like? I thought I would have to dodge those energy attacks while trying to attack you at the same time, since I still wasn't able to hit you in my base form," Goku asked before sitting down and starting to eat the different dishes in front of him. Whis said, "Your next training will be how to control your energy in a better way that you can currently do. But to be able to use the power of Ultra Instinct, you will have to have better mastery than what you currently have," Whis said before taking a strawberry cupcake and eating it, smiling when he tasted the cupcake. Guys, before continuing this epic story, leave your like, and of course, if you want to help the channel, leave your super thanks below and help the channel financially, and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news. Goku said, "But why do I need to improve my control over my own energy? I've trained enough to be able to use my divine energy when I'm in my divine transformations. So why do I need to further improve my ability to control my energy?" Goku asked as he stopped eating a large piece of meat and faced his current master. Whis said, "I don't know if you noticed, but when you use the power of Ultra Instinct, your energy becomes much more refined and more difficult to handle than normal divine energy," said Whis to Goku, who at that moment began to think about when he was using the power of Ultra Instinct in comparison to the power of Super Saiyan God. Goku said, "Come to think of it, when I used the power of Ultra Instinct, I felt that energy was different, but I ended up being able to use it calmly," said Goku while thinking about the day he used the power of full Ultra Instinct against Jiren during the Tournament of Power. Goku said, "But is there really a difference between those two divine energies? Because in my opinion, they are practically the same with some differences." as Ultra Instinct is purer and more dangerous, as it ended up hurting me when my body was unable to withstand that energy? Goku asked Whis before returning to eating the food in front of him. Whis said, you must have used the Ultra Instinct energy more naturally because of the adrenaline, or because you are a Saiyan and your body adapts better when you fight. And since you ended up using the power of the incomplete Ultra Instinct 3 times throughout the Tournament of Power, you ended up using the energy of Ultra Instinct more naturally. Not to be able to use the full power of Ultra Instinct, you will need to learn to use different types of energy simultaneously. And when you master this, you will be able to use the energy of Ultra Instinct easily, said Whis while using his staff to show all the times he ended up using the power of Ultra Instinct completely during the Tournament of Power. Goku said, maybe it's that when I used Ultra Instinct for the first time, I felt strange, but when I used the full power of Ultra Instinct, I felt better, and that energy wasn't that strange anymore. But I still think that those two energies are not so different, or that's what I think, considering what I've been through, Goku said while taking one of his hands to his chin in a thoughtful manner. Whis spoke. Let me explain the difference between the divine power you have when you transform into a Super Saiyan God, and the divine power you can use when you are using Ultra Instinct. In your Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue form, the divine energy you release is from a normal deity, like the Kaio Lords. But the divine energy you release when using Ultra Instinct is a transcendental divine energy that is the energy of angels, and released naturally. Because of this, we are able to do things like, for example, the time I revived Frieza after the Tournament of Power. The Gods of Destruction also have transcendental divine energy, but theirs is more focused on raw power that they use along with the power of their destruction, spoke Whis while raising his 2 hands and showing the difference between the 2 divine energies. The energy that was in the left hand was grander and denser. That was the normal divine energy, while in his right hand it was a purer and less dense energy, being the transcendental divine energy of Whis. Goku said, so if I understand what you're saying, the divine energy that I use when I am transformed into a Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan Blue is a simpler and weaker energy that all divine beings possess. But the energy I use when I'm in the power of Ultra Instinct is a purer and more powerful energy that only high-level deities are capable of using. Is that right, or did I end up not understanding anything? Goku asked his master, who nodded positively at him. Whis said, that's not exactly what I said, but you basically understand the difference between the 2 divine energies. So I will train you to be able to use the transcendental divine energy. And when you master this divine energy, you will be able to use Ultra Instinct complete perfectly, said Whis while looking at Goku, who was thinking about it. But at the same time he was finished eating the food that was on the table. Goku said, honestly, I still don't understand very well about these 2 energies, but if I master this transcendental divine energy, I'll be able to use the full power of Ultra Instinct. So I will obviously learn and master both the control of transcendental divine energy and also Ultra Instinct itself. Whis said, rest first, and then we will train. But get ready, because I will not take it easy on this training, Son Goku. Because when you master the transcendental divine power, you will be able to do this, said the angel, creating a scythe of pure divine energy and pointing at Goku, who was scared, as he had never seen Whis create a weapon before. Goku said, wow, I can't wait for training to start, Goku said with a big smile on his face before clapping his fists, showing his excitement. In the 7th universe, Whis facing Goku, who was sitting in the lotus posture on top of a board that was on a very sharp white thorn. The Saiyan was meditating on orders from Whis, who said that a clear mind would be more useful in being able to control the transcendental divine ki. That was something that needed great concentration, or at least a clear and calm mind. Goku said, Whis, how much longer will I have to stay in this posture? You said that I would have to do this to improve my concentration and make my mind clearer, so that I could better use the transcendental divine energy. But you also said that I would do this until I had digested the food that I had eaten, apart from those bitter herbs you gave me, Goku said, opening one of his eyes and looking at his master, who was drinking tea made from the same herbs that the Saiyan had to eat minutes ago. Whis said, you're right. I think it's time to start your training, more physical than mental. But keep in mind that you will have meditation sessions to improve your performance in the use of transcendental divine energy. but you will only do this during some breaks in your physical training, said Whis before getting up and hitting his staff on the ground, making the thorn and the board below Goku disappear. And as Goku was imagining he would do that, Goku ended up falling on his butt on the ground, which generated some laughter from Whis. Goku said, "Hey, aye," Goku said, complaining about having fallen so suddenly to the ground. And as the God of Destruction's planet is heavier than the gravity of planet Earth, the pain was a little greater, but nothing really serious. Whis said, "You are one of the most powerful mortals in all of the universes, and you still feel pain when you fall from a small height like this. And even though the gravity of this planet is greater, it is still no reason for you to complain about pain like this. In reality, if your mind was emptier, your body could act on instinct, so you don't get hurt when you fall to the ground," Whis said, giving a slight reprimand to his disciple, who stood up and sighed while scratching the back of his neck in a slightly embarrassed manner. After all, Whis was right about what he said. Goku said, "I can't deny that. After all, I've never been the most mentally concentrated person. I only stay focused when I'm in a fight or training. Now leaving that aside, what will my new training be?" Goku asked in a more excited tone. After all, he was eager to learn how to create weapons with Transcendental Ki. Whis said, "Your new training will be the same as an old training you did, and if I'm not already mistaken, it was with one of the Kaio Lords that you met when you lost your life for the first time. And in this training, you will wear clothes with weights embedded in them," said Whis to Goku, who was surprised that his new training was something so simple. Goku said, "I remember this training. At that time, I always wore heavy clothes. And there was that time I went to fight Tien Shan in a martial arts tournament, so I took off those clothes to be able to fight more freely. And even though it was simple, it was a good method training at the time," Goku said while remembering the past, when he used heavy clothes to increase his strength and speed. But Goku had abandoned this training some time ago. Whis said, "One piece of information that you may not know is that it was the angels who created those clothes with weights, and I was the one who created those clothes that you wore. In reality, they weren't exactly those clothes that I created, but Kaio used them and altered them, your presence to suit you and your style of dress. In fact, something that neither you nor Vegeta know is that all of Mr. Beerus's clothes are extremely heavy, weighing more than a few thousand tons. And even though Beerus is very strong, he uses them to balance his ki, and for that reason, you will wear these clothes with weights," spoke Whis, before his clothes were simply exchanged for the clothes of a God of Destruction. Goku was surprised by that information, but when he remembered that in the past Whis revived Frieza after the Tournament of Power, the fact that the angel had changed his clothes, it wasn't that surprising. Goku said, "I admit that this was something surprising, but not so much considering the things you've already done. Creating and changing your clothes quickly is something very simple to do. But I have to admit that I never expected to see you wearing the clothes of a God of Destruction like Mr. Beerus," Goku said while analyzing the God of Destruction clothes that his current master was wearing, which were the same as Beerus's. Whis said, "Wow, I look beautiful in this outfit. I haven't worn in a while. And Goku, don't worry, because I will create perfect clothes for you. And before you ask me what the purpose of all this is, it will be for you to create a weapon made from your ki. But you will have to solidify your ki this way," spoke Whis before releasing his staff and opening his hand where the angel's ki ended up overflowing and transforming into a scythe, made of ki that was exactly the same as the one Zamasu from the future, who was in Goku's body, ended up creating and using against Goku and Vegeta. Goku said, "Wow, you created the scythe again in such a simple way, and it's the same one that Goku Black used against me and Vegeta when he and I went to Trunks' future," Goku said, surprised to see the ki scythe in Whis' hands, which was the same as Black's, but the difference was that Whis' scythe was blue, and it emanated monstrous ki. Whis said, "Exactly, Mr. Goku. Zamasu or Black was a Kaio who ended up stealing his body in the future, and he ended up defeating all the other Kaio Lords by killing all the gods of destruction, and Black had great control over his own divine power, and he had the ability to use some of the transcendental divine energy, something that Black only achieved by mastering his own divine power. And make no mistake, this scythe is a key weapon, solidified in a complete and not incomplete way like Vegito is capable of using," said Whis, showing some scenes where Goku Black appeared using his pink ki scythe. Goku said, "Now I think I understand. I knew that Black was someone powerful, but I didn't know that he had such great mastery to the point of using transcendental divine energy. But thinking about it now, I can see that Black's ki sight was not normal. After all, he managed to create a kind of temporal distortion, generating clones of him that were used to face Vegeta," Goku said, surprised to learn that information about Black, and analyzing that situation, Goku understood why Black's energy sight was so strong. Whis said, "Indeed, taking into account what you went through when facing Black, you should already have a brief idea of the power level of a user of transcendental divine energy. You will train wearing weighted clothes to balance your ki, and when you manage to generate a ki sight like this, using your divine energy and still maintaining the energy sight for a few minutes, you'll be ready for the next step." Whis spoke, undoing his ki sight, and then in a snap of his fingers, the angel created God of Destruction clothes for Goku. But instead of details being blue, they were black and red, and all the pieces of clothing were very heavy. He ended up falling to the ground, hitting his face hard on the ground. Goku spoke, "I knew these clothes were heavy, but I wasn't expecting them to be heavier than the ones you made me wear when we trained in the past," Goku said as he stood up, little by little using all his strength, but still in his base form. Whis said, "I recommend that you quickly get used to this weight, because the clothes have a function that increases the weight daily. So get used to it soon, and don't turn into a Super Saiyan, because this will hinder your evolution, and mainly it will harm your body and balance of your ki," Whis said before giving a small smile to his disciple, who just sighed.
In the 7th universe. Currently in the 7th universe, more precisely on the planet of the God of Destruction of that universe, it was possible to see Whis sitting drinking tea while looking at Goku, who was a few meters away from the angel. Goku was training with a stick made from his solidified ki. The Saiyan had to keep moving his body to dodge, and at the same time destroy the ki spheres that were heading towards him. The spheres appeared in completely random locations. Goku was wearing a blindfold so that he could be guided by his instincts and not by his senses, and this would help him better control and maintain the power of Ultra Instinct. Whis, who was drinking his tea calmly, picked up a small block of sugar and threw it at high speed towards Goku, who even without seeing it, managed to move and destroy the small block of sugar with his ki stick, and this made Whis smile when he saw the progress of his disciple. Whis said, "Congratulations, Mr. Goku, you are improving little by little and your control over your divine ki is better than before, and you are still in your base form," said Whis to Goku, who nodded in agreement with his Angel Master's speech. Goku said, "Yes, I feel like I'm able to master my divine ki better now, and I'm even feeling my transcendental divine ki becoming more malleable and easier to use, even though it's complicated to use divine ki. But for short seconds, I'm able to use it," Goku said to his master, who smiled and then sent several spheres of ki towards the Saiyan. Goku sighed, and his ki stick ended up taking the form of a white and gold scythe, and using this scythe, the Saiyan was able to destroy all the attacks that came his way, and seconds later Goku undid the scythe, removed his blindfold, and gave a smile. Goku said, "Last time you spoke to me I got distracted, but this time that didn't happen," Goku said with a smile on his face as he looked at his master, who smiled back at the Saiyan. We said, "I'm happy to see that you can learn from your own mistakes, and that's good because it helps your progress, and I believe that you should be able to achieve considerable mastery over Transcendental Divine Ki in a short time, but mastering this ki for complete will take a long time," Whis said while analyzing his disciple's progress. Goku said, "Hey Whis, I was thinking about some things and I ended up remembering that you trained Mr. Beerus and taught him everything he knows, both in terms of combat and information about the universe in general, right?" Goku asked while looking at his master. Whis said, "Yes, I actually trained and taught Mr. Beerus practically everything, but what exactly do you want to know about?" Whis asked, curious about what Goku wanted to know with that question of his. Goku said, "Well, if you taught Beerus everything, you also ended up teaching him how to use the power of destruction, but to teach Beerus how to use the power of destruction, you would also have to have the power of destruction, right?" Goku asked while looking at his master, who brought his hand to his chin, but then Whis smiled and answered his disciple's question. Whis said, "If I'm not mistaken, what you really want to know is whether I have the power of destruction equal to that of Mr. Beerus, right, Mr. Goku?" Whis asked the Saiyan, who nodded positively at him. Goku said, "This ended up crossing my mind while I was training, and I ended up seeing a piece of a planet being erased. And then I remembered that Mr. Beerus was training with Broly and Vegeta, who told me that Beerus had taught him how to use the power of destruction that ended up making Vegeta acquire the power of Ultra Ego." Goku said while remembering the conversation he had with Vegeta in the past when Goku was curious about how Vegeta had obtained that power that he used to activate Ultra Ego. Whis said, "Yes, I possess the power of destruction, and I personally taught Mr. Beerus how to use this power," spoke Whis before opening his hand, and it didn't take long for a sphere of destruction to form in his hand, and then Whis threw that sphere of energy of destruction towards a tree, which upon coming into contact with that sphere ended up being disintegrated by complete, leaving only a few fragments of energy behind, which surprised Goku. After all, he was not expecting Whis to use the power of destruction at that moment. Guys, before continuing this epic story, leave your like, and of course, if you want to help the channel even more, be a member of the channel and help the channel financially. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news. Once that's done, let's continue the story. Goku said, "I always thought that the gods of destruction had the energy of destruction, and you angels taught them how to use this energy, just like you are training me to master the transcendental divine energy, but I wasn't expecting that the angels also possessed the energy of destruction." Undoing, Goku said, surprised by the fact that Whis possesses the power of destruction, and apparently has perfect control over the power of destruction. Whis said, "The power of destruction that the gods of destruction use is a cruder version of transcendental divine energy. So any user of transcendental divine energy can use the power of destruction, and that means you can also use the power of destruction, Sir Goku," said Whis to Goku, who was surprised to hear those words. Goku said, "So does this mean that Vegeta has a mastery over transcendental divine energy to the point of using the power of Ultra Ego?" Goku asked, surprised by that, because according to what Whis was saying and what Goku talked to Vegeta, he had already achieved mastery over transcendental divine energy to be able to use Ultra Ego. Whis said, "You're right, but you're also wrong. Vegeta actually has a certain mastery over transcendental divine energy, but the version he controls is the energy of destruction, which is a cruder and more destructive version of the original transcendental divine energy. Originally, the energy of destruction was developed by my father, the Daishinkan, who taught us the two ways of using the transcendental divine energy and the divine energy of destruction that we just call the energy of destruction, and Vegeta can use the energy of destruction and you can use transcendental divine energy," said Whis, explaining the difference between the two special divine energies that Vegeta and Goku were capable of using. Goku said, "I see, so Vegeta and I use different divine energies, but if Vegeta can only use the energy of destruction and I can use the transcendental divine energy, and the energy of destruction is a variant of the transcendental divine energy, then if I can master the transcendental divine energy, I will also be able to use the power of destruction and use Ultra Ego like Vegeta." Goku asked his master, who was surprised by the Saiyan's analytical speed at that moment. Whis said, "I'm surprised that you thought of this so quickly. Maybe your coexistence with Vegeta is making you think better about the situations you find yourself in. But to answer your question, yes, you will be able to use the power of destruction just like Vegeta, but for that you would have to go through training similar to Vegeta's, and this training is not physical but mental, because your body is already strong enough to withstand the power of destruction, and in the future perhaps you could achieve the power of transcendental destruction just like the gods of destruction," said Whis, leaving Goku a little surprised and at the same time confused by his master's speech. Goku spoke, "Energy of transcendental destruction. What would that be?" asked Goku, confused by his master's words, who sighed before answering his question. Whis said, "The energy of transcendental destruction is a union between the energy of destruction and the transcendental divine energy. Only the gods of destruction have this power. In reality, angels also have the ability to use this energy, but we don't use it because we don't have permission. Only a true god of destruction could use to unleash all the power of destruction they possess." Whis explained to his disciple, who finally understood and was curious to know what the mixture of these two energies would be like. Goku said, "Then I'll talk to Mr. Beerus so he can show me this energy of transcendental destruction. I want to know how strong Mr. Beerus is using this power," Goku said with an excited smile on his face, already wanting to see Beerus's power using this energy of transcendental destruction. Whis said, "You can do this at some other time, but now let's focus on your training, and by the way, let's increase the weight of your clothes a little more," said Whis before snapping his fingers, making Goku's clothes heavier, and as he did so, the Saiyan almost fell to the ground. In the 7th universe, currently in Universe 7, more precisely on the planet of the God of Destruction, it was possible to see Son Goku sitting on the ground in the lotus posture while meditating with his eyes blindfolded. Far from where Goku was, it was possible to see Whis sitting on a branch of the giant tree that was also Beerus's home. The angel from the 7th universe was watching his disciple, who he had been training seriously for a few months according to the calendar of the humans on planet Earth. Whis thought, it's been a few months since the day Goku asked me to train him so he could use Ultra Instinct to its maximum potential, and Goku has evolved very well so far. He has learned to use his divine energy in base form and create weapons made of energy, as well as learning how to use the energy of destruction. Perhaps Vegeta has a better command over it since he has Ultra Ego, but Goku learned how to use it to create weapons that are much stronger than weapons made from normal energies, thought Whis as he looked at his disciple who remained motionless meditating. Whis thought, well, Mr. Goku is already pretty strong, and he recently said that it's been a while since he faced anyone in real combat, so I'll let Goku have some fun now. Thought Whis before raising his hands, and then several small spheres appeared and went towards Goku, and as they approached him, the energy spheres took on a humanoid shape and surrounded Goku, who felt the presence of those beings made of energy and automatically smiled at that. Goku stood up with his eyes still closed and put himself in a combat stance, and soon those beings made of energy advanced towards the Saiyan, who smiled, excited about a battle after so long just training. It didn't take long for those energy beings to approach Goku, who advanced towards them and attacked the one in front of him with a punch that was defended by the energy being. Two energy beings approached Goku's side and tried to land a kick at Goku, but the Saiyan ended up easily dodging both blows with a backflip, and before the other energy beings approached, Goku advanced against one of his attackers and hit one. Punch him followed by a kick with enough strength and power to throw one being against the other being that had attacked Goku, and the two ended up being finished when Goku created a purple sphere in his hand and shot at them, which ended up being destroyed when they entered in contact with that energy, which in this case was the energy of destruction that Goku learned to use. All the beings made of energy, upon seeing that two of their companions had been defeated, ended up increasing their powers and advancing towards Goku, starting a rain of fast and strong attacks. But Goku remained calm and began to dodge all the blows that came in your direction. Whis, who was still on the tree branch watching everything, could see that Goku's movements were quick and precise when dodging. In the angel's eyes, Goku was not dodging the blows, but rather dancing among the energy beings. Whis thought, Mr. Goku's movements are impressive. Anyone who doesn't have a high enough power level can see that Goku is disappearing and reappearing for short seconds, and those who are more trained can see that Goku is dodging blows, but only the most attentive would be able to see that he is dodging the blows of the energy beings by inches. His footwork even looks like Goku is dancing and not fighting. Thought Whis, surprised by his disciple's movements that seemed so simple and easy to do. Guys, before continuing this epic story, leave your like, and of course, if you want to help the channel even more, be a member of the channel and help the channel financially. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news. Once that's done, let's continue the story. Goku dodged all the blows with great mastery, and after dodging several blows, Goku sighed and waited, and when all the beings made of energy approached him, the Saiyan released his energy, which ended up transforming into a barrier that repelled all the blows of the energy beings. When Goku unbalanced all those beings, he brought his hand forward and a purple energy appeared in the Saiyan's palm, and grew until it took the form of a purple sickle made of destruction energy. At that moment, with the scythe of destruction in his hands, Goku turned his body, and with just one spinning attack, he managed to hit all those energy beings around him, who, upon receiving that attack, ended up being divided in half, and when they fell to the ground, their bodies of energy disappeared. And after doing all this, Goku sighed and opened his eyes, looking towards Whis, who was watching everything with a smile on his face. Goku said, "I hope my demonstration of power pleased you, Mr. Whis." Goku said while looking at his master, who smiled again at the Saiyan, and soon the angel disappeared from where he was and reappeared again near the Saiyan. Whis said, "It really pleased me to see that you have become very strong in these last few months, and even though you didn't have the power of Ultra Instinct activated, you were guided by your own instincts. And I have to say that by the look on your face, you must have enjoyed facing those beings of energy I created. So I'd say you enjoyed letting loose a little." Whis said to Goku, who smiled even bigger because he was happy with that fight. Goku said, yes, I've wanted to fight for a while now, and even though these beings made of energy are weak, it was fun to face them, and apparently my control over the energy of destruction is much better than the last time I used it. Goku said before creating a new sphere of energy of destruction in his hand that soon took the shape of a scythe, and seconds later, the two sides ended up disappearing into particles of energy. We said, actually I remember that the last time you used the energy of destruction, you accidentally ended up destroying half of the God of Destruction's planet. Your luck is that I went back in time a few seconds and prevented the planet from being destroyed, otherwise Mr. Beerus would have ended you for destroying his planet. Whis said, reminding Goku of the time he destroyed the God of Destruction's planet, something that made the Saiyan laugh, embarrassed by what had happened. Goku said, hey Whis, I have a question about the energy of destruction. I know that the gods of destruction have this energy, and that they use it to destroy everything and everyone that hinders the progress of the 7th universe. But what does this energy of destruction do when it reaches a living being like me? Goku asked Whis, who found that question interesting. Whis said, the energy of destruction has the ability to destroy literally everything it touches. When it comes to a living being, its body, soul is completely erased, which means that if Mr. Beerus, Vegeta, or you use the energy of destruction against an opponent, and that opponent is destroyed by this energy, he cannot be brought back from the world of the dead unless the power of Super Shenlong is used. Otherwise, the being that was destroyed will not be able to return life under no circumstances. Spoke Whis, explaining how the power of destruction worked on other beings if they were hit by the energy of destruction. Goku said, I understand. The energy of destruction really is a very great and dangerous power. Thankfully, Frieza doesn't have that power. Goku spoke thoughtfully about what one of his worst and oldest enemies could do if he had access to the power of destruction. Goku, still thoughtful, began to play with a sphere of energy of destruction that was in his hand, and after a few seconds the Saiyan looked at the energy of destruction in his hand, and then at Whis, and had an idea, one that he was sure he wouldn't have. Big consequences, since it was about Whis, and Goku knew that this idea wouldn't affect the angel. Goku said, Hakai, said Goku, pointing his hand at Whis, and then a purple energy came out of Goku's hand and went to Whis, surrounding his body, but the angel didn't even react to that attack. Whis said, apparently you and Vegeta think more alike than I thought. Vegeta, after learning how to use Ultra Ego, ended up using Hakai towards me, but this is completely useless on angels, Whis said before swinging his arm, making the energy that was around his body disappear completely. Goku said, I was already expecting it wouldn't be very effective on you since you're an angel, but I wasn't imagining that you were immune to the power of destruction. Whis, why aren't angels affected by the energy of destruction? Goku asked Whis, who smiled and immediately answered the Saiyan's question. Whis said, we angels are transcendental beings, so to speak, and the energy of destruction can only affect beings that are at the mortal level or divine level, but transcendental beings cannot be affected by an energy that destroys everything, because transcendental beings are above everything, and that's why even if you, Vegeta, and Mr. Beerus attacked me all day long, I still wouldn't suffer even a scratch, Whis said with a smile on his face. Goku said, I understand. Apparently angels are beings far above what I imagined, Goku said while scratching the back of his head. Guys, with this, we will end today's video. If you want to see the continuation of this incredible story, leave a lot of likes on the video and comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So see you another day, guys.